Hi, my name is Kahini, and I'm a project manager for innovation and multimedia at the French Institute in India. My colleague Rakshit Bhavan from Campus France Delhi and I will be moderating today's session about animation studies in France. While we always associate France with cinema, not a lot of us know that France also has a very rich history in animation. Some of the earliest animated films were created in France in the late 19th century, I think. And Émile Cole, who is one of the a French cartoonist, was also known as the father of animated cartoons. Today, France has some of the best animated studios, the best animation schools. So studying animation in France guarantees you a good chance at success as an animator. I would like to welcome today's speakers. We have Cécile Blondel, the Director of International Development from Gobelin, which, as all of you should know, is one of the best animation schools, not just in France, but in the world. We have with us Aparna, who is an alumni of Shishti School of Design and is now studying at Gobelin in Paris. She is also a scholarship holder, and she got the Amba Dalmia scholarship last year. And we also have with us Krishna, who is an alumnus of maybe a little less heard of La Poudrière, which is a great French animation school nonetheless. So thank you so much, Cécile, Aparna, and Krishna, for joining us. And I think we'll start with Cécile. Can you please tell us a little more about Gobelin?
Okay, hello everybody. It's thank you for having us today to this event. So I'm Cécile Blondel. I'm the head of international development of Gobelin, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Gobelin. I have a small presentation I'm going to share with my screen. Coming up, here we go. Okay. That's better.
Yes,
okay.
Perfect.
Okay, so Gobelin is said to be a unique school of its kind. It's been ranked in the Animation Career Review ranking first in the world in 2017, 2018, and now we're second in the world, and sharing this with great schools in the world. So what is so special about us? It's what the screen that you're seeing. It's images of our end of studies films. Just a little bit of history. The animation department has been set up in 1974. Before it was a photography school. And we've been linked with the industry from the beginning. How did it start? It started with Uderzo and Goscinny, who you know more because they did Asterix. And Uderzo and Goscinny had a small animation studio. They had the story, they had the design, they had the character design, but they had no animators. Because at the time, animation was not a profession. You know, people were doing animation on the side. So they came to Gobelin. The head of the school was called Pierre Emma. And they asked Pierre Emma if he could set up a program to get professional animators to their production. There was also another director at the time called Paul Grimaud, who was in the same situation. He did a film called The King and the Bird, which is a beautiful 2D film. And Pierre Emma said, okay, I'll do this. So he took up the challenge, and here we are. Okay. At the beginning, the program was 8 months long, and there were 5 students. Okay. Now the program is 5 years long. Okay. and we graduate 50 people per year. Okay, so you see, famous alumni, Christophe Serrand, for example, was the head of animation, who's still head of animation at DreamWorks. We have the famous Pierre Coffin, who did Despicable Me, and is very well known for a lot of minions all around the world. And there's also Louis Clichy, who did Asterix. Okay, so these are the pictures of them when they were young. Okay. Okay, so what Kahini was saying, that you have fair chances to get a job after school. We prove it. 100% of our graduates find a job within 6 months after their graduation jury. We organize each year speed recruiting sessions and industry days, and they're taking place at the moment online, because we decided not to cancel them. We have a tool called Job Teaser as well. We set it up this year so that our graduates can still have their recruiting sessions with the studios. Okay. And you can see on the presentation the jobs they are, the percentage of jobs they're taking. Okay. Most of them are animators, but you can see, you know, we have storyboarders, color designers, car designers, background designers. They also do comics. Here, a few of them. Then we have artistic directors, storyboarders, and other professions as well. Okay, so there's a wide variety of jobs they can do. We keep in touch permanently with the professional sector. So 95 of our teachers are professionals from the industry. Our graduation jury members are representative of the sector as well. We have mandatory internships in our programs, strong partnerships with studios, keeping with our values. For example, at the moment we have a great educational partnership with Netflix. And Netflix is not only giving us scholarships, but also we have a postgraduate partnership with Netflix that allows one of our graduates right after graduation to go to Japan to Netflix studios. Next year it's going to be Anand Varma from India doing this great year at Netflix Japan. We adjust our curriculum to the needs of the sector. Gobelin is not a university. Gobelin is a professional school. It's giving a master degree. Next year it will be giving a bachelor degree as well in 3 years. So you have 3-year bachelor and 2-year master. And what we do, that's an example of the tools we're using. This is a study which is very official. These AFDA 5-9 are very official governmental agencies. And it shows here the need. So in red, the industry needs more of these people. Here, the industry needs less of these people. Okay, so when we see these data that are published every year, we are adapting our curriculum. So concretely, what does it mean is that our curriculum is mainly an animator curriculum. Okay, because we can see how much the industry is in need of animators. So the primary focus of the whole curriculum is animation, 2D and 3D. But we also let the students study other specialties so that they can, you know, do this do animation if it's their passion, but still have a job, and do their specialty. Okay, it can be visual development, it can be directing, it can be storytelling, it can be texturing, etc. But the primary focus is there because we have this data. Okay. So this is the curriculum in 2019, and now we have to add a year here, okay? Because next year there will be a bachelor in 3 years, okay? And the bachelor will be in English and in French. So English-speaking students will be able to study the full 5 years. If they want to stop after the bachelor, it's fine. They can stop. They'll graduate from a bachelor from Gobelin. What the level of skills here will be the level of skills of a very highly qualified technician. Okay. If they choose to get into the master, the qualifications here are more into creating, designing, leading, managing projects than purely technical. Okay, so here we aim at training artistic directors, animation leads, etc. Okay, so there's a clear objective for the 3 first year and the clear objective for the master. Okay. We also have a specialization in 3D, okay, and the specialization in 3D happens in Annecy, not in Paris. It's in partnership with the infamous Annecy Festival, okay, and it's 1 year, and it's highly technical, aiming at training people that are ready to work in the 3D animation. We also do production, which is a bachelor in production, is specifically for animation in 1 year. Okay. We also have an online school, which is called Animapody, that you can find on our website. There are 2 parts at the moment. One is for the perfect rebound. Okay, it's for beginners, and the next step is about the perfect step. Okay, for a more advanced 3D level. It's completely free. So far, we've had thousands of people following it, and it's working really well. Piece of pedagogy on projects that you can see are the ANSI short films. Every year we have a partnership with the ANSI Festival. We've had it for the past 32 years, I think. Yeah. So our second year students are doing a short film it's a curtain opener for each day of the ANSI Festival. So they go into teams, and they are given a theme by the artistic director of the Annecy Festival, Marcel Jean. Every year the theme is changing. We've had women in animation, we've had Brazil, this year was Africa. And this year, for example, we did 5 animation shorts of 30 seconds about Africa, and we did a 6th film with our African partners, the animation school in Johannesburg, and Chimolorong also in Johannesburg. We give a big emphasis on teamwork, high level and character animation. We simulate the constraints of a professional project in the classroom. So we tend not to have as many lectures, but it's focused on doing an exercise. Okay. We have a huge diversity in the school because now the animation department is 50% francophone, and I'm saying francophone and not French people, and anglophone people. And also our teachers are from the industry. You can see here where the people are coming from, where the students are coming from. Okay. We see, you know, a lot of them are coming from Europe, but we have a lot of people coming from Asia, then Middle East, Africa, North America, and South America. So we are really everywhere. Asia, I am sorry, I've included Australia. I am sorry. Okay. We also have a summer school every year in the 2 first weeks of July. Last year and the year before, it's around 140 people practicing intensively the animation techniques over 2 years. We've had 30 different nationalities. We're doing animation. We're also doing storytelling as a summer school, and next year we will be doing motion design and drawing as well. This is our academic partners, so you can see a wide variety of partners in the US, in Lebanon, in Europe, in China, in Africa, and we're trying to have a partner on each continent. What is the future? Okay, co-production is the future in animation. Diversity is the future in animation. And animation is now everywhere, including in live action. So I think the future is bright. There will be a lot of opportunities. And also we are relatively lucky in the context because animators can work remotely. And it's the industry of the animation in filmmaking has been touched by the pandemic, but not like the live action people. This is just to finish a picture of a team from our master. This team is the team who made the film called Best Friend in 2018. You can see the diversity. Okay, Varun is talking. We're in Hollywood here. They're receiving the Annie Awards because they won the Annie Awards for the best student film in 2018. Varun is now a director, a very young director at Illumination. He's been given his own project to try and develop. So we have Varun from India, we have Sheni from China, who's also a director. Nicolas is holding the trophy. As you can see, he's from Italy, he's also working for Illumination and freelancing. And David, with the really nice bow tie, from Spain. And there was another person who was a woman from Brazil in the team. So these guys received the Annie in 2018. We're super proud of that. We hope to have more this year, more festivals and more prizes. We are devoting a lot of resource in Gobelin for the student films to have a career after school. We are partner with Miyu Production, who's a distribution studio helping us with the festival. And we also have had quite a few selections for the BAFTAs, the Annie Awards, and we had a 3D film longlisted for the Oscar last year, and the film is Ostrich Politik. Maybe you've seen it. Okay, so I think this is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Cecile. That was great. I think you covered all the points. I doubt anyone will have a lot of questions because you said almost everything. But could you just tell us, just to go over it again, like what the courses are that Gobelin offers, which are in English? Like you mentioned, there's a new bachelor's program.
Yeah.
But what are the master's programs that are already there, which you usually find Indian students applying to?
So the most popular of our program in English is animation. We we're not only an animation school. We do photo, we do motion design. Okay, so but the master in animation has been very popular so far. It's the program in animation will be completely in English from the first year to the last year of the master from next year. Okay, so really, students can apply. English-speaking students can apply.
Okay.
And just to add to that as well, Cecile, lots of our students who might be interested to apply for these programs in the future, what makes a successful application to Gobler? Like, what do you look for in a student? And especially because the Indian animation industry is also, it's quite there, it's quite relevant here as well. What do you look for, and what's the interesting thing that can make a student reach what they want at Gobler?
We look for potential first. So we are aware that we are a school and our job is to train people. So we're not asking to have, perfect people. Okay. We're looking for a good level in drawing, which is very important. We're looking for people that can see the movement or are passionate about movement. Okay, we're looking for people having a good sense of colors as well, shapes, but we are looking for people who like stories, because you can have a beautiful animation if the story is not good. People will look at the images and then they will forget. So we want people that really like to make stories, tell stories to the others. We also want people who like to work in teams. That's super important because the big projects will be in teams.
And for all that matter, when the students are applying and they're looking for programs at your school, and when they're deciding on an application, a lot of students are now wondering, of course, things would be different because we have been touched by the pandemic and our entire sense of working, studying has really, we have imagined everything again. But how did your students cope with it, and were they able to still stick to their projects in animation? Were they still able to turn in interesting things around, and what kind of tools were they using?
Okay, so when we, on the 16th of March, we were told that we had to shut the school down completely. Okay, so we turned our classes, like 90% of our classes into online classes in a week. We had two types of students in a master with different needs. We had the last year of the master who were doing their films. So for them, it was super stressing because, from working in team, doing a film, to being alone in your flat or in your room, trying to work together, it's really stressing. So we lended some computers, we carried on working remotely online, and they managed, and these guys are heroes. I mean, I'm so proud of them. They managed. We're going to have 12 films this year. Okay, some of them have already finished, and it was hell for them. They've been so resilient, so amazing. Okay, and they had such a team spirit as well to be able to achieve this. So some of them are just finishing over the summer, but we already have films that we will be super proud to present in September on our website. So wow. And then we had a partners class. So maybe Aparna, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, Aparna, why don't you tell us a little about your experience since France has been shut down since March?
Yeah, I think it was hard because, especially initially, because you're so used to the atmosphere of the class with people around you, and we are always like walking around, looking at each other's work and giving feedback. And then you're alone, and it was hard, but we had our own things to do, And we had Cecile and Moira, who's the head of animation department, had weekly meetings with us so that they give us updates about what's going on and to check in. And then Cecile even had made a trivia quiz night for us to have, just to get us together. And even the lectures were really interesting, and the professors were online to give you feedback anytime you want. So academic wise, it was pretty pretty good. Yeah. And in the end, only difficulty was some of our team members had gone abroad, like gone home. So just the time zone was a little hard to manage, but we I think we did it. We saw the end of the year.
Yeah, they've been brilliant. They've been absolutely brilliant. I mean, being like for weeks in a foreign country, in between your four walls, alone, and still working, they've been absolutely brilliant. And we gave classes to them online. We gave a full month of storytelling online. They had to do team exercises in building up stories, and they were amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah.
That's great. Aparna, do you want to introduce yourself and just tell our audience what course you're doing and just a little more about how you chose Gobelin and why France, maybe?
So yeah, my name is Aparna. I'm an animator illustrator who I studied in Srishti from Bangalore. I'm from Bangalore as well. And I worked for a year before applying to Gobelin. And even when I was studying in Srishti, I knew, I'd seen Gobelin's films, and I really wanted to work with them. But at that time, they didn't have a master's yet. But as soon as I saw the tab on the website, I was like, yes, I'm gonna apply one day. And I was really interested in the school from the beginning. And after a year, I decided to apply to the course. And the course I'm doing right now is character animation and animated filmmaking. And I'm more interested in storytelling and making my own films. So I thought that would be a really good program for me. And yeah.
Perfect. Great. Thank you so much. Krishna, what about you? Maybe you could also tell us a little about your experience in France. You were from NID, right?
Yeah.
You did your bachelor's at NID, and then you did you work for some time after that, or you directly applied to do
No, I did work on freelance projects, and we had our own small startup in between, where we were trying to explore different things. And eventually, I started moving away from animation, and I wanted to come back to it. And so yeah, I thought, I've always been drawn to French animation. I find the kind of artistic sensibilities and the kind of stories that come out of France is different from the usual commercial films you see, like the American animated films you see. So I've always seen that there's an appreciation for different kind of art styles and everything, which is probably something that in commercial films in animation we are seeing just now. So that is one of the reasons I was drawn to learn further in France. And I same as Gobelin, even La Poutrière also, we have we got to interact with different professionals from the industry. They came as faculties, and some of these people are people I have always looked up to. Stéphane Aubier was Stéphane Aubier is one of the creators of this wonderful series called Panico Village. So he was my guide for two of my projects, and so it was a great experience. So yeah.
and your course was in French, right?
Yeah.
So how did you manage that? Did you learn French before you went?
I had done one level of French in Alliance Française, Ahmedabad. somewhere in the middle of A2, I had to leave for France. So I had like the basic understanding of French, which helped. Like when I reached there, it sounded like another language altogether because everyone's speaking just so fast. But it slowly started making sense. Like 3 months into my course, like I was much more comfortable with the language and having a little bit of an understanding of the rules of the language, the rules of phonetics in French. So it really helped me grasp the language better, more easily, especially like how you pronounce and like the spelling is so different, right? So I used to, when I learn a new word, I used to ask for the spelling, so that like visually it's registered, and having an understanding of how phonetics work, it yeah, it really helped me.
And for sure,
Yeah.
like Krishna, the experience that again, of course, it's very rich what you had in France. But surely the experience, what did it lead you to? Like, what did you do after your program, and what kind of projects came underway, and what was the biggest takeaway after your experience in France?
So I was interested in being an animation director, and my focus has like after being in La Poudrière, like my focus shifted towards storytelling than any other aspect of like animation filmmaking. So I started I learning a new language also like was like a brain workout for me. Like uh, it was I think has a big role in like helping me come up with new ideas. And yeah, I mean, I after La Poudrière, I mean, in La Poudrière as well, we got to work on several kinds of projects, one after the other. And after that, also, I ended up working with Folimage. I did their residency program, where I pitched a short film idea, and I was selected to make a children's short film with them. And yeah, I made that, and I then went and worked with the studio called Chouette Company in Paris. I was working as assistant director to one of their projects over there, and then I shifted back to India. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So you got work experience also in France. Perfect. Aparna, have you picked up some French, or are you planning on learning French, or did you learn French before you left a little, or?
Yeah, so when I was in 11th and 12th, I did take French as my second language in school.
Okay.
But as soon as I got accepted, I started doing Duolingo, watching videos on YouTube just like refresh my memory. When I came to France, I was pretty good at reading, writing, but not so good at talking and conversing. But I think so far I've improved enough so that I can understand what people are saying to me, but maybe not so good at responding. But it's getting there, I think.
Okay, that's great.
But even if you, yeah, I think it has been helpful in, like, even though that our program is in English and in Paris, you can manage with English, but it really has helped just to be able to understand what's happening around you, and being able to talk to someone on the metro. If they ask you something, you can respond in French. So it's an advantage for sure to know before you come. And yeah, I think as far as internship, like, our year has been pretty unlucky because so many things happened around the world. So, but we have worked on our other seniors grad films as a part of our internship, and it has been really interesting to see what process they go through and how it is in the professional world. And we meet a lot of our teachers, as Sushil mentioned, are professionals, and they often show you some sneak peeks into the project they're working on, and give you feedback on your portfolio. And they are also genuinely interested in your work, and it's not just a one-sided relationship. So it's been really nice to be able to talk with them about animation or just the industry in general.
Very good. And we've been in confinement for some time, and I know the world, everyone's using all the ideas they can bring together during this time to sort of get through this period. But within animation, have you seen some very interesting projects in the past few months, and some interesting themes that have come up? And how have animators and students coped with this time? How have they used it? Because you have the tools available, and there's quite a lot that you can still do if you're home as well. So how have they managed to come through? I think it's a theme all of us can discuss one by one. Maybe we can start with Krishna and then move all the way to Cecile as well.
So I'm currently working on an American project, which is a documentary project. So it's a mix of live action and animation. So I'm handling the animation sitting in India, and I'm working with the animation director is Reza Riahi. He's sitting in Paris at the moment, and the live action director is in US. So we've been working remotely and working like this on over video calls or audio calls. And yeah, meanwhile I'm also like finding some time to develop my own projects, uh, write my own projects by the side. So I'll eventually look at the possibilities of like how making an animation film of your own would work after this whole corona period. Yeah.
Very interesting. And Aparna, what about you? How have you used these months, or fellow animators what have they been doing? Have you seen any interesting projects during this time as well?
I think because there's so much technology that's been coming out, it's gone beyond the normal way of storytelling. I think like we have interactive stories right now on Netflix with Bandersnatch, and a lot of new stuff are coming out. And there's even with just softwares, there's a lot of things you can do with mixing 2D, 3D just to enhance your own story. So I think those are the projects I'm really interested in, especially like interactive fiction. And like even I tried to make my own interactive story during confinement, and it's since every technology and softwares are so accessible these days, and people can even from their homes just download it for free and do anything they want, and it's been really good.
Cecile, would you like to add something to this?
Okay, I go back my sound. The thing that really amazed me during this period is how people reacted so fast and changed their habits so fast. Such an agile and resilient way of carrying on in the studios, but also the students. And also, I think they've done a lot to communicate together. We were scared that our students would feel isolated. They at the beginning they did, and of course they felt isolated. But it was not. We thought everything would. The first day we were told, okay, you're going back home, you're closing the school. We were like, what are they gonna do? And I was amazed by their resilience and the way they adapted, and then they never let go. Never. I've never seen anybody saying, I can't do it. They always saying, yeah, it's hard. How are we gonna do it? This was the phrase that I heard the most. Oh, we can't do this? Oh, so how are we going to do it? And that was impressive.
Great. Thank you so much. I think we have one or two questions. So one of the questions that we got was, is there a difference between the way we approach animation in India and animation in France? Maybe Aparna or Krishna can tell us a little more about that.
So I feel that like India has excelled at the outsourcing industry, when it comes to animation. But in terms of like an industry for original content. It's still a very small industry that is there, and this is something that is really supported in France. They have an industry, a lot of opportunities for independent filmmakers and artists as opposed to India. So that is something I'm trying to figure out at the moment in India. And there are a bunch of excited filmmakers, animation filmmakers who are trying to make something work out, and we're all like trying to work together, and let's see where that goes. But this is like, I think, the biggest difference for me, at least as an independent filmmaker.
Okay, great.
And
Thank you
also
so much.
animation as a medium is something that is not as like, probably like the French audience is more exposed to it, because they have also a history of graphic novel and everything, and it's
That's true.
just been, yeah, as
In
opposed
India,
to
it's
like
still
our
like
audience,
animation is more for children. Like we still think of
children.
it
It's,
as animation is for
yeah,
children.
yeah,
That's not something that has changed yet. Hopefully, sometime soon.
yeah.
For me, at least in Srishti and then working on my own, the approach has been a little more experimental, I felt. Even with the so the pipeline of the process. Like after I finished my studies, I worked in a startup where we had to make up our own pipeline to suit our time constraints and resource. Like we don't have enough resources, so we make up our own pipeline. And so we didn't. There wasn't a set structure in terms of doing something. But after coming here, like doing the courses, there's such a defined structure and terms and things like that, and that has been really different for me. And also, as Krishna said, that French, there's a lot of scope for people really appreciate the art and the animation in France. In India, we are kind of limited to either mythological stories or certain kind of stories, but in France, they really it's a lot of variety in terms of stories.
Yeah, I mean that's something even I noticed. Like a lot of my films have some sort of Indianness to it, and that was really well appreciated by the audience over there. I mean, they were not just comfortable with stuff they're used to seeing, but like they liked the different point of view that I brought in, and that was, I felt very comfortable expressing my stories, you know. So yeah.
That's really nice. Another question I have is probably for you, Cecile. I think one of the main things that every Indian student is like worried about when they go to study is about internships and finding work. I know you already addressed that in your presentation, but could you tell us a little more about, like, does the school help a little with finding an internship and things like that, or work after?
Yeah, we help. There's two things. We want the students to learn how to go about finding a job. This is what looking for an internship is the first, the rehearsal for finding a job. So we're going to help them. If they help themselves, so they have to do a curriculum vitae, resume. They have to do a cover letter. They will have to contact studios themselves. But we give them a methodology, and if we can help, we will. Okay. Now, finding a job, we have these speed recruiting sessions. Normally, what we do is that we have students coming to the Annecy Festival every year. Okay, so the Annecy Festival is really important for them because first, the second year students are showing their very short films, the curtain openers every year. But the third year students, the first year of the master, they can come to Annecy and start networking. Networking is super important in this profession. because not all of the animators will be working for a studio. A lot of them will be freelance. A lot of them will, there's very different status they can take. So networking is very important. So in ANSI, of course, we help them because we introduce them to people. And all the studios generally want to meet with our graduates. Then in the 4th year, we have a special event in ANSI as well, which is called the Speed Recruiting Event, where we bring all the students from the 4th year students, but also the 3D program students, together with studios, and they get to meet studios and show their work. The last year we had 65 studios coming. From all around the world, really all around the world, from the big studios in the US to the small studios anywhere. Okay, so that's what we do, and then we have the job teaser platform where they can upload their CVs and the studios can recruit. And we have this amazing alumni community. This is super important because they're sharing news, they're about what's going on, and most of them are in studios. So it's the information about what's going to happen next is super important, and they can share that.
Great, yeah. So I think there are a lot of opportunities. It just depends on the student after that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. I believe you must be on summer holiday, but you're still here with us today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Krishna, and thank you so much, Aparna, for being here.
And just to close, maybe you can just have a final remark about, what's the scope? I mean, should students still be looking for animation studies? I think Cecile can take the lead on that.
Sorry, I didn't hear completely what you said. It was good.
So for this year, are you still receiving applications, or are you still welcoming students across? What's the situation that way?
So in September, we're going to welcome the first batch of the International Bachelor, and also the first year of the new Masters. So we are not taking applications at the moment. We are trying to do our best to be able to welcome these students in normal conditions. Okay, so we are helping them, finding information about, how the school will. We intend to welcome the students in the best conditions possible, which means that in the school as well. So we have a sanitary protocol, we have all sorts of health and safety measures, but also, we don't know what's going to be happening in September. So we're trying to design hybrid classes, remote classes, where some people will be able to be in the class and some people will be able to study at home or abroad. With the time differences, it's going to be a bit tricky, but we can manage these kind of things. So we are welcoming people, and we want to welcome people. We want to carry on, maybe not as usual, but to carry on.
I think that's a very good takeaway message, to carry on. That is what we can all look forward to and stick to as well. So I think with this, we have really exhausted our time as well. But thank you so much for your participation. Thank you to Aparna and Krishna both. I'm sure whatever we spoke about today, whatever you shared with us today, is really something a lot of students would connect to. They would connect it to it in today's time, even in the future as well, when they see this video, and they would understand that, different perspectives, but the journey is very long when you do study in France, because there's a lot of takeaway as well. And even if you go places like in Krishna's case, he's an independent filmmaker now, there's a lot of skills that always will stay with him. So, and a bit of some French, of course, for that matter as well. So definitely, thank you so much, everyone. And Kahini and I had a lovely time hosting this, speaking to you. It really was an endearing thing for all of us as well. And let's hope animation studies flourish, they progress, and we have very interesting students in India who are looking for good opportunities abroad. And that's our job, to provide them the platform and the motivation.